Receiving yards at the midway point. It's a first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's second down.
In order for a screen pass to break big, a lot of things have to come together and be well executed, but all it takes is one small thing to go wrong and keep it from being a big game.
Now this throw caught left side. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Partner, this is one of the best routes anyone can have in their offensive playbook. Tough to defend because you think it's a go route, and then he breaks it back on the comeback. But there's one other thing you need as well.
A well-thrown ball?
Exactly right. You have a guy who has some precision in throwing the football because of the timing of the route.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he only manages a couple here down to about the 38-yard line. 13-0 is the score after 1 on EA Sports.
51. Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up. Check it out, Reed.
22 jet bomber. 22 jet bomber. Let go.
On second down, Elliott. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down. So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
Let's get in there. Watch twist. Watch twist.
Ready?
Now a play fake here on first down. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the all-pro free safety, Earl Thomas. He's got the lane, and there he goes. The 40. The 20. And a terrific return there. They're finally able to corral him down near the 11-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
Six yards on that last play. Here's second and 4.
Hey, 0.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Wilson going to fake the give and keep it himself. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on third down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a fourth down decision.
And this one is right through. And that's going to make this a 16-0 ball game. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. It's what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you've got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And this not an easy situation. You're down early, in the elements, you're on the road. How do you get the mojo back?
Well, one thing is to remember that as an offensive player, you have a much better idea of what you're trying to accomplish and where you're trying to go than the defender. So in this case, because you know it, you can make your cuts with a little more decisiveness. Maybe a second fake, some double moves, things of that nature to go ahead and try and put some pressure on the defense.
Here's a 2nd and 7. That one complete to Elliott. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
60 outlaw.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Exit. Hey, switch gears, switch gears. Deuce.
61, matchbox right. Get it.
They're going to look to throw. Drops it underneath. Elliott. And a 5-yard gain gets him to the 42.
It appears they found something that's working, and they keep going back to it. I guess you can actually say he has the hot hands now, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, it's one thing to hit your guy out of the backfield once, hit him a couple times. Yeah, you're right. Maybe they're onto something.
And I think a lot of that is simply if you get it to him in space, more times than not, he's going to get more yardage than you expect out of each play.
A gain of 22 yards. First down, Dallas.
This quarterback now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10 at the 37-yard line.
Down. 10 Lobos.
All right, here we go. Let's go, D, let's go.
Hey, seam 6. Seam 6. Hit it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Rush coming, and he's taken down. And keep your eye on that man. 4 sacks last week, 1 there here in the 2nd quarter. He can be so disruptive.
So what was he doing in the 1st quarter? What was going on?
Took a nap.
I think he tried to lull him to sleep a little bit. Like, yeah, okay, maybe you've got me this week. No longer. And you know, with the 4th.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. 30. Past the 20. And they bring this one back. It's a fumble recovery and a Seattle touchdown. This first half has been a nightmare for that offense. Defense just dominating them.
And when you're picking up the ball, picking up their mistakes, and taking it the other way and putting it in the end zone, that's a defense's dream. They're having that type of a game.
Everything that can go wrong has gone wrong for this offensive unit. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Go. Let's go.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the 2nd quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game.
Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football. And the Seahawks have picked it up. And maybe that one caused by the weather. Of course, the rain coming down. Charles, can you maybe, when you're carrying that football, grip it too tight in the rain?
I think that you can, and it's such a delicate balance, too, because when you grip it so tight, sometimes it'll slip out from your body. You squeeze it too hard, and it'll pop out on its own. I've actually had running backs talk to me about that when they've tried too hard, even in perfect conditions, the ball gets away from them. They've got to find that good balance, carrying it firmly, yet at the same time under control.
Coming up at halftime, we remind you once again that we're going to check in with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL as we reach now, hard to believe, the halfway point of the season. Time flying.
It certainly is. Time to get the sweaters out, my man.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. First down, Seattle on a pickup of 13.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
Good job right there. Let's go.
Back to the ground, this time Lynch. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. A gain of 3, second down.
And that's one of the reasons you like to blitz even on rundowns. It confuses the blocking assignments. It doesn't allow those offensive linemen to get up to the second level.
From the 17, Wilson. He's going to be sacked. Back at the 23-yard line.
And that's their first sack of this game. But how about last week? 6 sacks. Great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
No problems in the field goal department so far. He's 2 for 2.
Pretty reliable here in this game, isn't he? And to me, that bodes well for them. If they need him late in the game, his confidence should be sky high.
This will be taken in at the 1. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
The Cowboys take over first and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And you have to figure they won't just sit on the football here in the final minute. The way things have gone, they need to try to make something happen offensively.
But maybe they should. Maybe they should sit on it here because of what you just said. They haven't made anything happen offensively. Getting ready to go into the half, give them a chance to take a deep breath, exhale a little bit, and start over. I don't know if this is the time to push it myself.
Yeah, right now under 100 yards of total offense. Second and 13. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Incomplete on the deep ball. He was covered by Richard Sherman.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. They'll throw now on the final play. He's going to float this one deep right side. That's caught at the 25. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we send you cross-country to Orlando, Jonathan Coachman is there and has our EA Sports halftime report. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And that first half, one to forget really on both sides of the ball. They got to find some way to string something together here, don't they?
Yeah, they're down big right now. So as you mentioned, trying to find something to string together, get some consistency, something sustained, maybe calm their whole team down and find a way to get back in this one.
Yeah, because right now you're down big, you're being shut out. Let's see if this is the drive that kind of kickstarts them.
18 Gator.
Staying on the ground, this time it's Smith. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 13 yards and a first down, Cowboys.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
They keep it with Smith on first down. Stopped up shy of the 45 despite some pretty powerful running. Earl Thomas in on the stop. The last run got 3. Now here's second and 7.
Check, lucky. Check.
Gone.
On the ground, this is Smith. They had 3 yards on first down, just 1 yard there.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On the double.
Mike, 54 is Mike. Check, check. Watch 54. Watch 54. Here we go. Here we go.
Back to throw here. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Still just the third quarter, but they've got to make something happen. I think they know that. They're going for it on fourth. Now on fourth down, we've got a whistle here and a timeout. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. I guess they figure they got to start taking some chances. Here's a big one in this third quarter as they'll go for it on fourth down.
Mike's 54. Mike's 54.
They'll try and throw for it here. And the pressure gets to him again. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. And they'll give to Lynch out of the gun. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards. They'll run it now out of the gun. 1 yard officially on the pickup, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 11.
That didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
It's 4th down.
And his kick is indeed good. And that will push the lead up from 26, and it grows up to 29. So 3 field goals that he's hit now. This last one helps him stretch out the lead.
He's been solid, hasn't he? And he lives up to the adage that every offensive coach has ever said to us. We want to end every possession with a kick, right? For them, it's either extra point, field goal, or at worst, a punt. In this case, it's been 3s.
At their own 32-yard line.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Throw left side complete. That's Hayes. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he...
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 44. And they will finally stop him, but a great return. Gets that football all the way down to the 16-yard line. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
He will push his way down to about the 14. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. Play action. Now Wilson. End zone caught. Touchdown, Seattle. Making a hat trick for Russell Wilson. 3 touchdown passes now. And the Seahawks capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. A good hold in these wet conditions. The point after is up and good. And the lead will swell by 1 more. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
At their own 25-yard line.
Got it.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
They go back to the ground with Smith. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
Right there, 54 Mike.
He don't know no better.
Now back to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back, because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Get it.
They're going to try and throw. Incomplete. So certainly an interesting call there to go for it. And the Seahawks, they'll get the football back in outstanding field position.
It's our time. It's our time, guys. It's our time.
They'll throw on 1st down with Wilson. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A good pickup there at 22.
To number 86. 1st and goal at the 4-yard line.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. Back now in Seattle, Washington. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Alexander, and he will not be denied. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point was hooking, but he does make it through, and that will extend this big lead. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
It's a gain of 12, and the Cowboys pick up the 1st. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
And he's got the first down yardage as he takes it down to the 49.
Let's go.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line. On the run, it's Smith. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11. This is Elliott. $22 yards there, a first down.
We'll definitely see some open running lanes, and he's taking advantage of it right now, but that shouldn't be a surprise. Defense has the lead. They're playing for the pass first.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. They'll drop the throw. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense is well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off. Now, if this was a clear day in September, I'd say this is well within his range. I feel very confident about this kick, but let's be honest about it. In these elements, the difficulty level gets ratcheted up by at least a factor of 5.
Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. And they give this time to the tailback. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. They'll keep it on the ground. Alexander, and able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it. And the Seahawks on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 8. Now it's Wilson, and this is going to be incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And they had compiled a pretty long drive last time. Unfortunately, though, it ended with no points after the missed field goal.
And that can hurt the psyche of a team because as they drove downfield, you know you're never supposed to count points in your mind until they go up on the board. Well, let's face it, we've been there. We've seen teams before. They were counting on those points. They didn't get them. Can they come back now, start over again, and grind it out?
Hey! Get it!
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Got a man on the right sideline. It's Hayes.
Here we go. Yeah.
A gain there of 21 yards. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
That's it, baby. We're going to work.
So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. He'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that is going to be pulled in one-handed. Wow. It's a big play for the Cowboys on third. And even 40 yards. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And, oh, he took that in one-handed. What a grab. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. Now from the 9, here's second and goal. Second and 9 now. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. Defensively, you look at the numbers. Another incomplete pass that we just saw, and they're under 200 yards passing for the game, so they've done their job on that side of the ball.
Yeah, recently I was actually working a game where a quarterback had a streak of 5 straight games without a 200-yard game, and that was a big talk, both in his town and amongst his team. How do we get the passing game going? So big credit to them holding them under 200 today.
So out comes a field goal team now for the second time here today. And his kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg. And they're at least trying to finish out strong.
At their own 24-yard line.
Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking.
With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's the kicker, Zane Gonzalez, ready to get this one started. And we are underway from AT&T Stadium. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Yellow.
Mahomes now on first down. Got his man. That's the Pro Bowler Julio Jones. 4 yards the result on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. 2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Mahomes. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. Gates, the intended receiver there. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. A first carry now for Nick Chubb. Nothing doing. Barely able to muster a yard to hit the 35.
When you think about big-time middle linebackers, you do think about the strength and the force that they play with, as we just saw there from Brian Urlacher. But what an athlete. Remember, he was a safety in college at the University of New Mexico.
And then the NFL Defensive Player of the Year back in 05. Also, Bears all-time leading tackler, almost 1,800 of them. A second down play results in a loss of 2 yards. Throwing is Mahomes on 3rd. Eluding the pressure right. Oh, he almost picked it. Nearly a turnover there on their opening drive. And that's a throw he'd like to have back. Now 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, only gave up 3 points off of that, so it shouldn't be a difficult hole to overcome.
It really shouldn't, as long as they're not listening to the chatter coming from the other side, because when you throw a pick, look, I know defensive backs, they have a tendency to be a little bit loud after they take one away, but they also have a tendency to gamble a little bit more, thinking they'll get a second one. Maybe they can take advantage of that with some double moves.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 48-yard line. Working from the gun, Mahomes. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. That'll be marked as a 27-yard pickup. Now Mostert. And an alley-oop. And he lost the football.
Wow. That ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
64 weak.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play. And it'll be 2nd and goal. Here's Mahomes to throw. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
Get your backs to the goal line. I can hear my high school coach right now. This is when force meets force. Got to be physical in order to win this battle.
Yeah, that's where the physicality pays off tonight. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. He was going for Gates, his tight end that time.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. Fights forward for only about a yard up to the 21. A minimal gain as we tick down inside of a minute remaining in the opening quarter. 2nd and 9 now from the 21. Chubb on the counter. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
And after that type of a run, there's some talking going on down on the field, but it's not trash talking. The guy who just carried the ball, he's going back and telling his offensive line, great job, keep it up, and we'll break that one soon.
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. A nice first down pickup on a gain of 6. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mahomes now to throw. Flush to his right. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 18 big yards on that one, and a Miami first. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 46. 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. First down, they'll run with Chubb. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on 1st down. Now on 2nd and 13. Mahomes flushed out right. Pass incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing. Just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
Sliding out of the pocket. He can run for it, and he will. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this 2nd quarter. Mahomes and the offense staying out there. They'll go for it on 4th. Mahomes going to go on 4th down. Got a man. It's Randy Moss. And he's not able to get away. He is stopped well short of a first down. Well, you feel the excitement build on those 4th down plays. Defense has to stay out there, but for the offense, when that thing doesn't work out, such disappointment.
It can absolutely be a deflator, but how about the defensive guys? If they stop you on 4th down, they are absolutely elevated going to their bench. They're elevated now. Big stop on 4th down.
Oh, did he hang on to it? He did on the dive. Nice grab. A really nice gain of 25 yards. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Rolling to his right. Gates with a grab. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. That's over 40 yards of movement with those last 2 plays.
1st and goal at the 3-yard line.
The Dolphins going to take their 2nd timeout. So as they take it over, we step aside. Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. On second and goal, they'll give it to him again. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 5-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons have taken the lead. They were able to push him backwards on first down, but this time he forces his way in.
I wonder if he went back to the huddle and said, guys, just a little bit more help, and I can get it done on this one. Maybe even overruled the play call from the sideline, just feeling like he had that opportunity, and he wanted to cash it in.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They begin this drive with Chubb, and not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. On second and 9, Mahomes. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. From Falcon territory now, here's first and 10 at the 49-yard line. 2 minutes to play in this first half, 7-3 our score. Throwing on first down is Mahomes. Dumps this to his running back, Chubb. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Throwing again on second down. Mahomes.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it in run time, and he picks up a first down.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. Shotgun snap to Mahomes. Escaping the pressure right. And now he's going to use his legs. He'll get 8 on the scramble there. It'll be second and a couple. Looking to throw again on second down. Mahomes. And Thomas has it. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 13-yard line. First foray into the red zone for Miami. They have a first and 10 at the 13-yard line. Eluding. Mahomes hit. He lost the football. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense. That can be a little bit deflating. You're exactly right. A lost opportunity.
Mahomes going to throw. Flush to his right. He'll get this to Chubb out of the backfield. And they're going to drop him well shy of the first as he can only make it to the 11. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be fourth down. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. And the kick by Gonzalez is good. So a late 3 there, and that'll help as they head into the break.
Talk about situational football and something they've worked on since the OTAs and mini camps the previous summer. They take care of the ball, get 3 points, knowing they're going to get the ball to start the second half. That's the old 2-for-1 special to finish things off.
After the field goal, here's Gonzalez to kick it off. An incredibly short kick fielded way up there. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went.
And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Nick Chubb, 66 yards. And the Dolphins are going to jump back in front. Well, they had their chances in the first half, you remember, but had to settle for 2 field goals. This time they come away with 6.
I think they actually got affirmation about what they were doing by getting a touchdown, because the field goals means they got in range, but couldn't quite finish it off. This time, they broke through, and that's great for the old confidence.
And on the sideline, difference of a feeling between 3 and 6, is it astronomical or no?
It can be at times, that's for sure. A lot of times the field goal feels like a disappointment. The touchdown, well, that tells you you're getting it done.
And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use, just something to get you off to a quick start.
Now this throw caught left side, and he'll be out of bounds right at the 40. 15 yards, first down, Atlanta. This is Mostert. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 12 yards is the pickup, good for a first down for the Falcons. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Shazier. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Well, partner, let's put a bow on the Super Bowl for Kansas City. What a comeback win. Yet another come-from-behind victory for Patrick Mahomes and company. An absolute heartbreak for San Francisco.
Didn't Madden predict Kansas City would win the game?
Yes, 35-31, I believe they predicted.
I felt like most of the predictions I saw had the game in the 30s. So a little bit.
Mahomes hit. He lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. And nothing but daylight ahead. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. So a big turn of events there. This defense makes the play. They return it for the score, and now they have the lead.
So much for ball security for the offense. Playing with a lead in the second half. They give the ball up, and all of a sudden they're behind.
Big-time fumble. Dan Quinn's told his offense, let's try and get 2 more. They'll try and run it here. And he gets halfway there down to the 1-yard line. And in the 3rd quarter here, they were trying to push that to a 3-point game, but instead it'll stay at 1.
And I'm a big proponent of not chasing points or going for 2 too early. But in this case, I understand why. You know, if you kick an extra point, you're just up 2, right? So a field goal still puts the other team ahead. So you go for 2 here and protect the field goal lead. They didn't get it done, though.
A run for Nick Chubb. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. Give him 12 yards there, and the Dolphins have a first down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the second level, because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the second level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Make it now 3 tackles for a loss in this game, 1 for each quarter.
And for a guy who played defense in college, I can just tell you that he's feeling very satisfied right now by what he's doing. But he's elated because he knows what he's doing is helping his team win the game right now. Making some big-time plays, getting into the offense's backfield and spilling everything.
He'll end up getting 5 out of that, but now they're looking at 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, Mahomes flushed out right. And tight coverage there. It's knocked away, incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Julius Peppers. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our 2 quarterbacks, certainly 2 of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
Here's Will Lutz ready to get this one started. And off we go in Madden Ultimate Team. This will be taken short. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line.
Yellow.
The former Purdue Boilermaker, Raheem Mostert. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Mahomes. Jones has it. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Mostert. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That winds up being a 4-yard loss and leads to 4th down. Here we go, 4th down, Mahomes. Looking deep for his tight, and that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Jaguars. Antonio Gates, 71 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. Fielded about a